Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to make this video, or series rather, to address the current state of the game and a few other topics. Now, depending on how quickly updates and changes are made or questions come up, will determine how often I post one of these, so ultimately, you decide, or rather the game decides. So if you have any questions you want answered or a hot topic you want feedback on, feel free to comment below and I'll be sure to include it in the next video. So right now the game is about a month old at this point, give or take a few days, and we've already got a couple patches. Most notably the one recently that patched the spamming behaviors for those who abuse the jump and crouch buttons. Now it seemed to go off without a hitch as downtime was less than the hour they predicted it was going to be. However, a lot of people are now starting to complain that things just don't feel the same. Things that weren't in the patch notes. Things just feel bad. Now, I'm a firm believer that developers make changes that aren't always released in the patch notes, whether these are intentional or unintentional changes, we're unsure of. After that patch, people are stating the movement feels very clunky and unpolished and just worse overall in general. Now, I personally haven't experienced this. I feel like the game is exactly the same as it was 2 days ago, 3 days ago before the patch. And maybe it's just a placebo effect, or the ones that are saying this are the ones who are now affected by the jump and spam penalties. But curious to hear your take. Let me know in the comments if you feel this way or if you feel that nothing's really changed. There was also a minor tweak to the snipers, which apparently was something that was supposed to be in the game from the start. They made it so that when snipers are ADSing and they get shot, they get a noticeable flinch. Now, I don't use snipers unless my daily challenges handcuff me to them, so I haven't experienced that firsthand, but I've heard it's pretty bad, and I have no issues with this. No one should be able to hard scope a sniper and get bullets to the chest and keep a perfectly steady aim regardless if you're holding your breath or not. It's just not natural. It has no place in the game. And while I don't play snipers, I can definitely say I feel much more confident when I see that sniper glare to not run for cover, but instead shoot back. Not that running for cover ever really helped, considering you're still getting shot around walls. Now, the jump and crouch spam situation is a little tricky. I haven't encountered the crouch spam, so it was more of a non-issue with that half of it. However, there is an exploit after the patch that I discovered late last night to avoid getting the aim sway penalty when crouch spamming. Now, this only works with crouch spamming, not with jump spamming, which is kinda odd. If you want to know how it's done, I have a short out about that right now, and you can go see just how simple it is, but hopefully it gets fixed. Now, as far as the jump spam goes, I'm not a fan. I'll be vocal about this until the day that this game dies. I absolutely hate people that abuse this and rely on it as a crutch to win gunfights, but it's also a double-edged sword. I see both sides to it. On one hand, if you're letting someone get off more than 3 jumps in a single gunfight, maybe that's just a you issue. But I do understand that it's annoying to go against regardless of how many jumps they're doing. So I think I have a suggestion or two that might help. Not that the devs are watching this video or taking my suggestions seriously, but I'd like to hear what you guys think. I think that after every jump, after the initial jump, or slide and jump, whatever the case is, you jump one time. If you jump again after that, once you hit the ground, you should un-ADS. And then they should still have the same second timer that it takes to reset the entire thing, just like it is now. Or, at the very least, drop the number down from 4 jumps to 3 jumps. I feel like that would be a fair middle ground. Now, the second half of this, I want to cover a few questions or pieces of misinformation that I see people posting or asking about a lot. First up is this screen here. For some reason, people are telling others that these stats are based on the last 10 games, and these are not your career overall stats. Now, I see how they might think this because it says right here, all trends are based on your last 10 games. But a trend is not your stat. This is your stat, and this is the trend that it's referring to. The trend is what's based on the last 10 games. The stat is your lifetime stats. The second thing I see people asking most often is, when does season 1 start and when will ranked come out of the trial run that it's in now? And the answer is the same for both of those questions, and it's July 2nd. July 2nd is when season 1 drops, and that's also when ranked will be live, assuming that there's no delays. And the last question, or two-part question that I see most often that I want to address is, what's the best gun, or what's the best settings? And that's not something that just has one answer. The best gun is whatever you're good with. The best settings is whatever is best or most comfortable for you. The gun is a little bit different because I truly believe that the best gun is dependent on multiple things like your playstyle and the map that you're playing on. There's always going to be guns that are the meta, like the ACR and the MP7 and even the AK right now, but those guns may not be catering to your playstyle. Now, I'll be making some shorts about different weapon builds that I use as I go through the weapons and level them up one by one. Feel free to check those out, copy some of my attachments or all of the attachments and see if it works for you, and then just tweak as needed. Settings is individualized, and not everybody has the same exact settings. You could just straight up copy somebody's settings and just play like that forever. I don't think that's the best option. So the best suggestion I can give is to find somebody, whether they be a YouTuber, Twitch streamer, whoever, find out what their settings are, somebody who has a similar playstyle and the input method that you're using, whether it be controller or mouse and keyboard, and just copy their settings and then go in and play a few games and just tweak until you feel comfortable with those settings. Don't just go in, copy somebody's settings and play and adjust your playstyle to those settings, because you're going to get terrible results. If anybody wants my settings, I'd be more than happy to make a short about that as well. Just let me know down in the comments. So yeah, that's pretty much the state of the game right now, and I totally didn't just steal the National Fire Danger Scale. But right now, I'd say the game is on green, and it needs a few changes and patches to work out some more bugs and issues. But overall, I think we're trending in the right direction. I think this is a great game and has great things in its future. But let me know in the comments if you agree with this rating, and remember to comment any questions or topics you want to discuss in the next video. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this type of content. So long until the next one.